I don't know if our buddy Noose is listening yet. He told me he'd be. He told me he'd be here.
He'd listen in. That's what he told me as well.
He might have the app on. I don't know. Maybe he signs into the chat room. But he requested that we do a little R.A. Dickey day today, and me and Joey didn't really feel comfortable dedicating a whole day to a gentleman on the spur of the moment. But what I did do is, Joey, I have, if you can see, a boatload of random cool stats that R.A. Dickey has achieved.
You go right ahead and put them all out there. Tell us, Dave, what happened with R.A. Dickey yesterday?
Well, R.A. Dickey became the first pitcher since Dave Steeb. I've never even heard of this guy. In 1988, to go to pitch back-to-back one-hitters, complete games. So it's been 24 years since that's ever happened, which is actually sort of cool to think about.
That's really damn cool.
Big fan of this R.A. Dickey and his knuckleball.
Dude, he's amazing. The Mets won last night yet again. They got swept before.
They were sort of struggling, but
they won 5-0 yesterday, and R.A. is pitching like a Cy Young, baby.
He is, and like me and you have talked about it. Obviously, he's going to have to keep this type of pitching up throughout the year to be a Cy Young candidate and possibly the Cy Young winner. But without a doubt, in the first portion of the season, he is probably the Cy Young favorite. 11-1 record.
Oh yeah.
He's now gone 42 2/3 innings without giving up an earned run.
Correct.
Which is actually the second longest streak in Mets history, which surprised me. I didn't think, I mean, I know the Mets had some good pitchers back in the day, but I didn't think anybody really went this nuts.
Dwight Gooden, bro. He's only behind Dwight Gooden. He's got the franchise record at 49. So in the next start, R.A. Dickey might get it done, dude.
You know what? And the best part is, Gooden set that little record in the year of our birth.
Yep,
friend.
1985.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was his rookie year, actually.
Real quick, I know this is off topic, but, me and Joey both work in the restaurant business, so we have to ID people if they want to have a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can I just tell you, I am starting to see massive amounts of 1990 and 1991 IDs.
Me too.
And that is ridiculously depressing, being an 80s baby. I'm like, oh my God, here they come. It's very sad. Christina and the majority of our listeners out there probably can understand where I'm coming from on that one. But yeah, it's a little rough to have to see. I can't lie. 87. Thank you, Jeremy. 80s babies. Let's go. So sad to see that. But anyway, back to our R.A. Dickey. I'm going to be miserable if Noose is not listening to this right now.
Well, if he's not listening, then you know what? He can catch up on everything that he missed later today on thisissportzone.com, where we will put up our, individual little portions.
Nice plug
on
Joey.
our segments.
Nice plug.
No doubt. I got you, son.
Hey,
I got
baby.
you, son.
Carrie says, hey, baby. Hey, Joey.
What up?
Carrie, don't forget to say hi to Christina. She does love you, too. Anyway, so we're going to get back to R.A. Dickey moment. We're going to give him the first little segment of today's show. And then we can talk about the other great pitcher that displayed his talents for a New York team last night. He struck out a career high, R.A. Dickey that is, last night with 13 batters that he struck out, which is actually really, really impressive. Between him and CeCe, 23 Ks last night. Pretty impressive. I thought
that is very
cool.
impressive.
And now he's won 2 games in the last week, while the Mets as a whole, this is really sad to say, have lost 9 of their last 14 games.
Seems like except for when he starts.
Pretty much. I was actually going to take the time and go through and figure out all his wins compared to the Mets, how many, but I'm like, I'm tired. I don't have the energy to go through all that. That's pretty much what I said to myself. So instead I found all these cool random R.A. Dickey awesome stats. So, but
what
yeah,
else? What else?
He's
you got
won
for us?
9 straight decisions, longest win streak by a Mets pitcher since Johan Santana won 10 straight in 2008, 2009.
Boom! Dropping the knowledge right here. I like this.
5 straight starts of a zero earned runs and 8+ Ks. Longest streak in MLB history. Previous mark was 4 by Gaylord Perry in 1967. Ray Culp in 68 and Pedro Martinez in 2002.
Boom!
So he sets a major league record. Like I said, 5 straight starts of 0 earned runs and 8+ Ks. R.A. Dickey is now 11-1 this season. No pitcher in Mets history has ever been 10 games above 500 this early in terms of teams game played in a season. The franchise record in that category was held by Tom Seaver, who in '69 defeated the Pirates on July 4th to improve to 13-3 in what was the Mets' 77th game of the season. Dickey got to 10 in 68.
In 68,
games.
yep.
R.A. Dickey, I'm still
Keep
going
on
with R.A.
going, brother.
Dickey, people. Had a 12-inning hitless streak spanning the end of his last start and the beginning of last night's. That's actually a Mets record as well. The previous mark was 11 innings by Jack Hamilton in 1966, stretching May 4th through May 8th.
You sound like me yesterday going through LT's NFL career stats and whatnot, man. You made me do like 35 broken records.
And I'm not done, my friend.
Keep going.
Now, this is a little different. I've never heard of this guy before I read this, so I still really couldn't tell you who he is. Bill James. Bill James, I guess, made a game score. It's a metric that rates starts on a 0 to 100 scoring rating.
Yeah, and there's actually a couple starts that go above 100.
Is
like
there?
the Matt Cain perfect game was like a 101.
Okay, so but this is something that baseball relevantly pays attention to?
No.
No? Okay.
I hardly ever hear anything about like, oh, this pitcher pitches 60 today. Unlike a QB rating.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. All right, well, I'll still read it anyway. So Dickey had a game score, like Joey said, it's supposed to be 100 plus is extremely rare. 49 is MLB average on this metric score. It's based on pitchers, innings pitched, runs, hits, strikeouts, and walks.
Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle.
So Dickey had a game score of 95 last Wednesday with his 12K one-hit complete game, and then got a game score of 96 last night with 13 Ks one-hit complete game. He's the first pitcher in the live ball era with consecutive starts with a game score of 95 plus in a single season.
Damn.
Dickey threw 35 knuckleballs last night at 80 miles an hour or higher, the third straight start in which he's thrown at least 30 knuckleballs at that speed. Before those 3 starts, his previous high in a start was 17. Dickey has thrown 106 knuckleballs at 80 miles an hour or higher in his last 3 starts. He threw 100 pitches over 80 miles an hour in the first 11 starts. So he's increasing the knuckleball usage and keeping the speed at 80 miles an hour or higher.
Dude, and it's amazing to me. I feel like this guy is like the best knuckleball pitcher ever. I also found out yesterday, like it's real funny to me, like he did this performance against Baltimore because 7 years ago when R.A. Dickey was with the Texas Rangers, Buck Showalter was his manager, and Buck Showalter told him, hey bro, the only way you're going to make it in the major leagues is if you start throwing a knuckleball. So because of Buck Showalter, that is the only reason why R.A. Dickey is in the league.
So then, as a Met fan, I believe it's only proper for me to say a thank you to Buck Showalter. I can't talk. To Buck Showalter. Any Mets fans out there that want to hype up R.A. Dickey, call on in. 201-430-2119. Anybody want to call in and badmouth R.A. Dickey? Say the knuckleball's lame and it's not good. Call in. 201-430-2119. We would love to hear your opinions. And as I said, between 2 New York pitchers last night, 23 Ks were taken.
Yes, sir.
Well, 13 belonged to R.A. Dickey. Joey, do you care to elaborate on who the other 10 were brought to you by?
The other 10 were brought to you by CC Sabathia, but before we even jump into that, I want to continue with the Mets.
All right, let's continue with the Mets.
Do you have anything else with the Mets?
No, that's it. I went nuts with because I really was sold on R.A. Dickey Day by Noose. Dude, I was sold. I don't get, as a Mets fan, me and Noose will both agree on this. You don't get many opportunities to have a day.
If R.A. Dickey continues to pitch like this, all right, we can't do it on his next start because his next start is Saturday against the Yankees. His next start after that is on a Thursday. I don't know against who or even if it is on a Thursday, but it would be during the week. So we will have R.A. Dickey Day.
The day.
If he continues to pitch like this for 2 more games.
Fair enough.
All right?
I respect that. I do. But the Mets finally won another game.
Yes, they won 5-0 yesterday. Dave, I believe you did say this as, R.A. Dickey is the only pitcher in MLB history with 5 straight starts of 0 earned runs with at least 8 Ks, right?
Yes.
Boom. You're the man for that. He's also the first pitcher in modern-day baseball to have back-to-back one-hitters with 10 or more Ks. That is impressive.
That is impressive.
His 13 Ks last night were a career high, and he's the third pitcher since 1945, joining Sam McDowell in 1966 and David Steve of 1988 to throw back-to-back one-hitters.
Now, R.A. Dickey.
My question is, does everyone think he's the best knuckleballer ever? I mean, this guy kind of came out of nowhere. And now he's just dominating fools with this knuckleball. It's amazing how much control that he has on the knuckleball as well. And you know what's even more nuts, Dave? He thinks he can just keep getting better, too, with it. My said that he threw 10 knuckleballs yesterday with squirrels everywhere around him. But he threw 10 knuckleballs yesterday that didn't knuckle, bro. So,
dude, I watched some of those highlights. That ball just...
And he thinks he can even get
like it doesn't even
better.
move.
He can even get better. That he can throw those 10 pitches that didn't knuckle to knuckle. All right?
And
also,
something with his age, too.
He's 37 years old, bro.
Rocking,
dude,
baby.
Tim
Wakefield,
I think, pitched to like 43, 44. He just retired this past season. But if you throw the knuckleball, you can throw it and be accurate with it. You can have a very long-lasting career in the MLB, my friend.
Is it something to do with the less torque on the shoulder from pitching? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like they're not worrying about, maybe
that's the thing. Because it's you're letting the ball just dance.
Do itself.
You're letting the ball do its thing. When you throw it as a knuckleballer, you don't necessarily know it's going. You have an idea of where you think it's going to go.
That's why they were saying that the Mets catcher uses a different glove when he catches for a Dickey.
All catchers use a different glove whenever they catch a knuckler.
Just because it gives them a better...
Because it's bigger, you don't know where it's going to necessarily move to as a catcher, so you got to be prepared for almost anything. Big shout out to Pixel Junkie. Welcome to the chat room. And he points out that Phil Niekro had the nastiest knuckler at 46 years old with the touch of a spitter on that. Good morning to you, Pixel Junkie. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat room.
Well, Pixel Junkie noticed we weren't talking basketball.
That's why.
So he was like, oh, I'm in the chat room, baby.
Jump
Let's
on it,
do
baby.
It.
Jeremy in the chat room writes, R.A. Dickey, ... Cy Young. Right now, why not?
I don't know who out there.
There's a couple different pitchers you can go up against, but right now, he is definitely killing it. There's Lance Lynn of the St. Louis Cardinals. I believe he's a rookie. He's got like 10 or 11 wins, too. But R.A. Dickey is killing it right now. 11-1 on the year. I believe he started in the majors in ERA. And in Dickey's last 6 starts, he's 6-0 with a 0.18 ERA. In 48 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's only given up 21 hits and struck out 63. 63 batters in the last 6 starts.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's averaging over 10 strikeouts a start.
So amped up when I have an opportunity to talk about the Mets in a positive way.
Ridiculous. Also, more important news for the Mets. Ike Davis backed his first career grand slam in the 6th inning yesterday to break the scoreless tie. Now, he has a 9-game hitting streak, which has increased his batting average to 38 points in the last 9 games. He went from hitting under 200 to now hitting like 215, something like that.
Still, but I know what you're saying. No,
that's huge for him.
38 points into a couple.
That's huge.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
All he needed was some couple hits, get himself going. Maybe Ike Davis will finally get out of the funk that he was in.